Claire and Jack. And they must like you because they don't always say, I want to come, I want to come. So that's a good sign. I think it's also a good sign that they're just feeling the excitement, I think, also, that we're feeling as we go every place. As we look out and see people who are just anxious for the next 36 hours to get through, and we can start the process of deciding who Iowa's going to tell the rest of the country is the best possible candidate. Of course, I have my own personal opinion, but...
Me too.
Yeah, you too? That's great to hear. What we want to do is to leave this room making certain that each and every one of you has that opinion. That means we have to give you the information you need if you're undecided to make that commitment. And if you are decided, give you the weaponry you need to go out and convince other people that that's what they need to be doing too come Thursday night. Now, I want to talk a little bit about electability. John is a candidate the only candidate who was born in rural America, understands the problems that happened there, happened in his own hometown. Yeah, oh, sit. I didn't realize until people started sitting that you could sit, so I called it. You want to sit? You can sit if you want right there for a minute. There's an outside chance it'll be less distracting slightly if seated. Thank you for that adoring look. That's what I see. Got to notice them when they come.
Thank you to Mary Culver. Isn't she a great First Lady? And thank you to my love Elizabeth for everything she's doing. And I understand Jack came out with you, is that right? And Everclare, great. Thank all of you for being here. You know, there's so much energy and excitement in the campaign. You know, I don't need a poll to tell me that we're moving, and we're moving every single day, and we're moving in the right direction in this campaign. Because this is the kickoff of a 36-hour, non-stop campaign, a marathon for the middle class, where we're going to be traveling all across Iowa, not sleeping much, but traveling all over this state, talking about the things that really matter to the people of Iowa. We're going to talk about raising the minimum wage, universal health care, getting off our addiction to oil, what we need to do to send kids to college, a whole group of things, a trade policy that actually works for America. So we hope for the next 36 hours that all of you will be as energized and focused as we are. Because the crowds, the energy, I feel every single place I'm going here in Iowa. And there's so much at stake in this election. I had this experience of going home with my parents, actually, who will be here today, tomorrow, the next few days, to the little house that they brought me home to when I was born. It was a two-room house in a mill village in South Carolina. And I was there. The neighborhood was so familiar to me because just up the street is where my grandparents lived. I loved my grandmother dearly, loved them both. But my grandmother helped raise me. And I remember spending time there. She would take us, feed us, take care of us when my parents were working. Then she'd make her way over to the mill and work her shift and come back home and do the same thing. And my grandfather, who'd been partly paralyzed as a young man when he was a boxer, he also worked at the mill. He'd make his way over. It's a little harder for him. But he usually worked the third shift, the graveyard shift. And sometimes when he'd come back in the morning, we'd be waiting for him so that we could all have breakfast together. And in many ways, my own father followed very much in those footsteps because he went in mills for 36 years, 5, 6, sometimes even 7 days a week, 8 or 10, sometimes 12 hours a day. Hard, tedious work. The question is this: Why did they do it? Why did my parents do it? Why did my grandparents do it? Why did your parents do it? Why did your grandparents do it? Why did they work and struggle and sacrifice? Why? They did it so that you could have a better life. They did it because they wanted to leave America, this country they love so much, better off than they found it. And that is the great moral test for our generation. You want to know what's at stake in this election? That's what's at stake in this election. Are we going to make certain that we leave America better than we found it, and that we leave our kids and our grandkids a better life than we've had? And if we're going to meet that responsibility, and we will meet that responsibility, if we're going to meet that responsibility, we have enormous challenges in front of us. We really do. Because if you look at what's happening in America today, we don't have universal health care, which we desperately need. Why? I use these phrases a lot. Why? We don't have universal health care because of drug companies, insurance companies, and their lobbyists. Why do we have that mess of the Medicare prescription drug law? We have it because the drug company lobbyists literally wrote the thing. That's why we have it. Why do we have trade laws like NAFTA and CAFTA that have allowed American companies to take millions of jobs out of America, go someplace else, and hire people to do their work for 10 cents on the dollar? No labor standards, no environmental standards. I'll tell you why. For the glorification of corporate profit. That's why.